Hello there, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Vungo presenting you today top stories as usual.
Vietnamese and Belgian prime ministers hold talks. Exhibition spotlighting Vietnam Republic of Korea relations. And later on, Square in Tuyên Quang wins Asian Townscape Award.
President Nguyen Xuan Phuc on December 14th gave a reception for President and CEO of Yonhap News Agency, Song Gi-hong.
Welcoming Mr. Song Gi-hong's visit in the context that the two countries are celebrating 30 years of establishment of diplomatic relations, President Phuc said, after 30 years, the Vietnam Republic-Korea cooperation has reaped great achievements in all fields, including cooperation of news agencies of the two countries. Song Gi-hong expressed his belief that after the president's recent visit to the Republic of Korea, many Korean businesses will come to Vietnam to explore investment chances. The Korean guest also said that during his visit, Yonhap will upgrade cooperation with the Vietnam News Agency, thereby contributing to the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries.
President Nguyen Xuan Phuc attended a groundbreaking ceremony for infrastructure facilities of Liên Chiểu Port Project in the central city of Da Nang on December 14th.
Covering an area of 450 hectares, the project has a total investment of some $145 million. According to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, the Liên Chiểu port completely meets conditions to be developed into an international port at the same site with Tân Cảng Port in Ho Chi Minh City and Lạch Huyện Port in Hải Phòng. Speaking at the ceremony, President Phuc underlined the need to apply modern technologies, especially automation and digital technologies, in managing and exploiting the port, aiming to build a green port model in the future. Liên Chiểu Port will be a creative breakthrough not only for the transport and logistics industry, but also the tourism and service sectors in Da Nang, President Phuc said. He noted that measures should be taken to attract good sources in Southeast Asia and the world to the port.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and a high-ranking Vietnamese delegation is in for the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit and an official visit to Belgium at the invitation of President of the European Council Charles Michel and Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo.
On December 13, Belgium's Prime Minister Alexander De Croo hosted a welcome ceremony for Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính. Speaking at the talks, the host Prime Minister affirmed that Belgium attaches importance to Vietnam's role and positions in Asia-Pacific. Chính used the occasion to thank the Belgian side for helping Vietnam push back the pandemic. The Prime Minister agrees on major orientations and measures to foster the comprehensive cooperation between the two countries. In terms of trade and investment, the two sides pledged to encourage their agencies and businesses to continue fully and effectively implementing the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement. Chính urged Belgium to soon ratify the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement, encourage Belgian firms to invest in Vietnam, and support the European Commission to remove its yellow cards on Vietnamese fisheries. He also called for Belgium's support in the realizations of the National Strategy on Green Growth for 2021-2030. Following their talks, the Prime Minister witnessed the signings of several cooperation agreements in the fields of agriculture, green marine economies, and food safety, among others. As part of his trip to Belgium to attend the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had a meeting with his Lao counterpart, Phan Kham Viphavanh, in Brussels on December 13 local time. The two prime ministers discussed issues related to the preparations for the upcoming 45th meeting of the Vietnam-Laos Intergovernmental Committee. They agreed to continue efforts to remove obstacles and difficulties facing cooperation projects. The two sides agreed to closely coordinate and support each other at regional and international forums, especially ASEAN, the UN, and sub-regional cooperation mechanisms. Also, during his trip to Belgium to attend the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had meetings with Lao Prime Minister Phan Kham Viphavanh and Cambodian Prime Minister Samdech Techo Hun Sen. This is the first meeting between the three prime ministers since the COVID-19 pandemic was brought under control. At the meeting, the leaders discussed measures to strengthen coordination among the three countries. The three prime ministers affirmed that despite complicated one situation, the special friendship and solidarities of the three countries, Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, has been increasingly consolidated and developed. The three prime ministers agreed to continue maintaining regular bilateral and trilateral contacts, closely coordinating in regional and international issues, and contributing to maintaining ASEAN centrality. Also, within the framework of his trip to Belgium to attend the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit, on February 14th morning local time, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had a meeting with Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez Calderón. 2002 is the year that the two countries celebrate 45 years of the establishment of diplomatic relations. In order to further deepen the Vietnam-Spain strategic partnership, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính suggested the two countries make full use of the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement and strive to increase two-way trade to $5 billion in the next 2 and 3 years. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez Calderón placed that Spain as the rotating presidencies of the EU in the last 6 months of 2023 will push European countries to ratify the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement. Attending the 10th ASEAN-EU Business Summit in Brussels on December 13 afternoon local time, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính called for more efforts to intensify international solidarity, uphold multilateralization, and cooperate more closely and effectively among countries. As the trade relationship between the EU and ASEAN is developing comprehensively, member countries must further improve the legal corridor and create the best foundation and conditions for businesses to continue increasing their capacity, creativeness and responsibility, and promoting the achieved results.
General Director of the Vietnam News Agency, Vũ Việt Chang, and President and CEO of Yonhap News Agency, Seong Gi-hong, on December 14th signed a new cooperation agreement to replace the old inked in 2017.
At their talks, General Director of the Vietnam News Agency, Vũ Việt Chang, said, on the basis of the agreement signed, VNA has effectively used text and photos provided by Yonhap, especially when there are major events. She also took this occasion to express her gratitude for the Yonhap leader as president of the Organization of Asia-Pacific News Agencies, OANA, for supporting and creating favorable conditions for VNA to participate effectively in the organization. The VNA General Director expressed her belief that activities within the framework of cooperation will be promoted in the coming time, affirming that her agency will make efforts to support Yonhap's correspondence in Hanoi. Hailing the VNA's contributions to the development of the OANA, Seong Gi-hong said he hopes the VNA and Yonhap will step up the exchange and cooperation in multimedia information and strengthen coordination in combating fake news. VNA and Yonhap established their professional cooperative relations in 1994, 2 years after the two countries set up their diplomatic ties. The same day, a photo exhibition themed 30 years of cooperation between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea was co-organized by the Vietnam News Agency and the Yonhap News Agency in Hanoi. The exhibition is a highlight event in a series of activities co-organized by the two news agencies to mark the founding anniversary of the Vietnam-Republic Korea diplomatic ties. It also aims to welcome the elevation of the ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. The 8-day event, which runs to December 21st, features 65 photos, which reflect the two countries' partnership in various fields.
The exhibition contributes to strengthening the friendship and understanding between the two peoples on the basis of common interests and similarities in history and traditional culture.
In her opening remarks, VNA General Director Vũ Việt Chiang said, "The exhibition is a space that comprehensively reflects the outcomes of such cooperation, including important milestones and historical moments of the bilateral ties of the past 3 decades. It also a testament to the effective professional cooperation between VNA and John Hop," Chiang said.
We hope the exhibition will give the public an insight into the history of the close relationship between the two countries and important contributions that the peoples and businesses of Vietnam and the Republic of Korea have made in social and economic development.
The imprints reviewed through the photos displayed at the exhibition can be considered as a motivation for the two sides to further expand the bilateral relationship and promote cooperation in the future.
The bilateral relations between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea have recorded important achievements in almost all fields. Notably, the Republic of Korea is one of Vietnam's most important economic partners.
Hanoi is aiming for its gross regional domestic product per capita to reach about $6,400 by 2023.
It is one of the targets set under a resolution on the city's socio-economic development plan in 2023, which has recently been approved by the People's Council of Hanoi. Under the resolution, the growth rate of GRDP is planned to increase by about 7% in 2023. The resolution also aims for the growth rate of total export turnover to increase by 6%, the consumer price index will be below 4.5%, and the unemployment rate in urban areas will be less than 4% in 2023. The overall goal of the plan is to maintain stability and ensure major balances of the economy, control inflation, and promote growth.
Vietnamese handicraft producers were among the more than 2,300 companies from 100 countries taking part in the recent 26th International Crafts Selling Exhibition, Artigiano in Fiera in Milan, Italy.
The fair was an opportunity for Vietnamese businesses to introduce their products and directly approach customers as well as partners, boosting their understanding of market needs and creating business plans to take Vietnamese handicrafts to Italian and European markets.
We have discussed an initiative to open an area featuring Vietnamese crafts and culture to promote the country's tourism. We will create a meaningful space and offer them favorable conditions.
Artigiano in Fiera is said to be the biggest event for handicraft businesses and has been held since 1996, with artisans from all over the world displaying products. It attracted more than 1 million visitors this year. Vietnamese firms have taken part in the fair since the 2000s.
Nguyễn Tất Thành Square in Tuyên Quang City of the northern province of Tuyên Quang has been ranked 5th among 11 outstanding landscape projects winning the Asian Townscape Awards.
To contribute to introducing the beauty of Tuyên Quang to international tourists and friends, thus promoting tourism development in the locality.